What it
What's
do?
up,
What
OG,
it
triple
do?
OG, OG,
Man,
triple.
y'all already
OG.
know. Today we getting into this video about Jess Hilarious. I done another video with Corey Holcomb in it, and this is a discussion that we shouldn't even be having. But without further ado, we're gonna get into the video. You know, I'm gonna be stopping at that time to put my input on the situation or whatnot. I'm going in on this one right here, y'all. I barely talk in some of the videos, but this video right here, watch out, y'all. Let's begin with the video.
I mean, when the transphobia just comes out, the audacity, the arrogance for cis women to believe that they own periods, that they own womanhood. You don't. You experience both, and both are different for every person, but as a cis woman, it doesn't belong to you, so you can't gatekeep it.
Hello.
Now I gotta stop the video right there. This person, this transformer, because that's what he is a transformer, you know, trying to be a woman. But the natural woman is the gatekeeper of having a period, right? Of bleeding, right? She was given that by the creator. You know, let's establish that first. You know, all this cis gender and, you know, giving our natural women new names or new titles or whatever. This is a woman, a natural woman. You know, we shouldn't even be having this discussion. But we got people like this who want to try to, you know, change things around. But let's listen to what our sister Jess Hilarious got to say.
Who the fuck is gonna stand up for us? And us, I mean women, real women, biological women, women who were born with all the parts that you guys wish that you were.
That's another thing too. Who gonna stand up for the women? It's not enough men out here standing up for our natural women. Corey Holcomb spoke on that. And let's listen to a little bit of what he got to say of when he spoke on that.
A man dressed like a woman, claiming a woman, is an insane person. You should not be arguing with them. I mean, if somebody want to chime in, they can. I'm just saying, it's like the world is going bad, man. Yeah. And if I can say this, because I want to make sure I make this point. The reason there are cowards who might post the argument that's online but not speak on it is because those men work for the company. All the men who work for the company can't really speak on whether a man is a man or whether a woman is a woman. They know they will lose their job. So because you lose your job for not going along with the agenda, these wicked people in charge of the nation got the world by their nuts. Right. Where men and women are arguing about what a man versus a woman is. It's insane. Okay. Now, you heard what he said, right? It's not enough people, you know, well, I'm going to put the men out there. It's not enough men out there, you know, stepping up for our women. You know, we supposed to be screaming this to the mountaintop as far as how wrong this shit is. You know, the hell with these transformers, right? But let's finish hearing what she got to say.
When does the delusion stop? What is the difference between you and someone who has been diagnosed to be mentally insane? Stop talking out your fucking ass. How are you projecting your anger on real women? Because we are the gatekeepers. We the only one that can bleed, honey. We the only ones that can give birth.
Facts.
We make y'all people. We make y'all. You can't be us. You will never. You're chasing something you'll never, ever get. You'll never be that.
Like, hello?
Now, Marcus Bohr, you're here for No Capital, so please let us know what is going on with this.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So we got a quote from T.S. Madison on her Twitter, trans woman, activist, celebrity, somebody who's out here in the field. T.S. Madison says, there are so many quote unquote real women that get mistaken for being transgender woman, and that's where a lot of the anger comes from. I do hope that they take a good look at how transphobia affects all women. And so I think what TS is trying to tell us is that there's a conversation here about what qualifies as real womanhood, and that has a long history in white supremacy and patriarchy and a whole bunch of stuff we're going to get into today. So excited to have this conversation.
Yeah, Pierre, let me bring you in, and I hope it's okay to share. I know T.S. Madison has been on your show, and you're a friend of T.S. Madison, so I'd like to get your thoughts, and then I'll ask a second question first, but what's your reaction to this? And then I got a second question for you.
I think it's T in here. Damn. All right, first of all, I'm friends with both.
Hold up.
T.S. Madison, I'm a fan of hers, I'm a friend of hers. Like I said, me and her talk on the phone. I can even call her. It doesn't bother me per se, but she knows how I feel. Whatever God made you, I'm gonna rock with that.
Oh, hell no.
So if you feel like that, then you shouldn't be rocking with her. You shouldn't be able to just pick up the phone and call this transformer or whatnot. What kind of conversations are you having with this transformer? The only thing that I can be telling these people, the only thing I can say to you is you need to change your ways. You know, you need to go back to what the Creator made you or wanted you to or put you here to be. I don't have time for this confusion, because that's all it is confusion. So let's get back to this. This stuff is pissing me off.
If it made you on your birth certificate, made you a man or a woman, that's what you are. What you change into or want to be, that's another thing. But what you are is, you know, anatomically is what you are to me, as far as that's concerned. But what you want to be called, no different than I know brothers say, call me king. Nigga, you don't own no land, no country, and nothing like that. You weren't royally built into being a king. That's the definition of a king. But I'll call you a king if that's what you want to be called. That doesn't bother me what to call you. But now when I'm identifying you as something different, what I call you is one thing. You know, I understand. I don't understand, but probably don't understand why women who don't have a period want to act like they have a period. I know women who have periods wish they didn't have periods. Shit, they had enough of that shit. They're like, I don't want that thing every month. So for a woman who doesn't really born with one, want to have one, I don't get that part. Fighting for to have a period, that's ridiculous to me. But I get the disconnect between both sides, men and women. I mean, transgender and.
Man, you shouldn't have no kind of connection with the other side, with the trans or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? The only connection you should have is to your natural black woman. Let's not get it twisted around here. This ghetto talk, y'all.
And regular women. Women, you know, who are regular women, they've gone through so much. They don't want their whole identity to be hijacked by something else and saying, well, you're one of us now. It's no.
Exactly. And that's the whole thing. They're trying to hijack our women or whatnot. And that's bullshit. Off the rip. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna play with this subject. To our so-called men out there who not speaking up about this situation, you know, y'all shouldn't be playing with this bullshit neither. Simple as that. Let's get back to the video. Getting pissed
different
off.
than a white man trying to be a black man, saying he's black. So, you know, at the end of the day, you're not. You're a white man. You're not black. It is what it is. You can act like a black man and think you're a black man, but you're not a black man, even if you're white, because you're white. So it is what it is.
Now, I'm going to save the second question because I want to take it around just to get reactions first. Samson, let me bring you in. First and foremost, thank you so much for being here. You know, I love when you join the show. You bring so much insight, so I appreciate you being here. What's your reaction to this entire situation?
Hey, Symphony, I got the hiccup, so work with me.
That's all right. You growing.
I know, watching that video all weekend gave me the hiccup. So, well, Symphony, you were born a woman, right? The experiences that you had are vastly different from somebody who became a woman 3 weeks ago. Okay, they cannot come in and tell you how to be a woman, and those are just the facts. And the hardest part about this is I'm in the LGBTQ community. I am a gay man. You know, I understand.
Stop the motherfucking video. You a what? You a...
Hang that nigga now. I got the rope right here.
Man, come on now. Come on now. This dude is sugar booty. Come on, man. Oh my goodness. I mean, it's just so much confusion here. I'm just gonna let the video play.
You know, everybody's fight for equal rights and liberation, but you cannot achieve those as transgender women by hijacking the rights of women who are already fighting for their identities as women in the world and, you know, being a man. basically, who's transitioned into a woman, you're basically doing the same thing you may, accuse opposing political parties of doing. If they were doing it, we would have a problem with it. And so I don't have a problem with anything that Jess Hilarious said, except for maybe the delusion part, but some of them are delusional.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now, Marcus, I'm going to come back to you. I know you gave some thoughts just a little bit, but I want to see if you can expand on what's your thoughts of seeing this play out? What's your reaction to it?
Yeah, I think it's an important point of clarity to say that I believe the original poster was referring to trans men who can still have periods or carry babies. And so I don't think that was necessarily the point that was being made. I also want to clarify that there's a difference between being born and living your childhood as a girl and then being an adult woman. And I think those nuances are really important in this conversation. But as far as the whole thing is concerned, I think the most, the bar is in hell, but probably the most damaging thing that she said was that people who are trans are diagnosed as having mental illness. And it really just speaks to the big problem of identifying who our enemies are. I think as Black people,
I better disagree. People like this got demons on them. They on demon time. That's all I can see. I can't see nothing else. They on demon time. I don't see no kind of where they're something is psychologically wrong with them or they got some kind of a mental disorder. I call BS. I just can't rock with that. You got some kind of a demon or some kind of wicked spirit on you that you need to really, fight off or pray about it or something like that, And let me get down to some of the stuff that I see as far as situations like this. I'm gonna say 7 times out of 10, you got people like this who get violated when they're younger, and they can't. I don't know. It's a bad situation that they go through. That some of these people go through or whatnot, and I can't imagine the things that they went through to make them like this. So I feel like these people need some help. These people need some kind of a help where they can go back to the original state that they're supposed to be living in. And as far as it's dangerous for them to stay like this, because they can carry on doing that to somebody else when that other person's younger or whatnot. And they can just go on and on and on and spread over here and spread over there. And you got these people on TV and you got younger people that watch TV, social media, all, wherever they can see this stuff at, right? And it can confuse their mind. Or it could give them a right to be like, well, I want to be like that. Without guidance. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't have a father in their home who's against this, who's know that this ain't right. You just don't get that in every household. So in these households where that father's not in the mix, these children can easily be persuaded to go this route, right? So it's a lot more to it than you doing what you want to do, or this not affecting you in no type of way, But this could be affecting my nephews, my nieces, my kids. I keep a strong grip on my kids, as far as dealing with this situation here. But it's just not about you. But let's continue with the video.
We sometimes do this thing where we try and make everybody strategize and move the way that we do, but we're not a monolith. And community is a verb. So who we're in community with, as Samson said, I'm a part of the queer community. There are multiple Black communities and different people are going to do different things. And this is a good moment to demonstrate how sometimes certain people's idea of community works against others. And that's how they're not on the same page. So if Jess wants to be in her community, people who believe this, the way that she believes it, more power to her, but don't expect that people aren't going to come back and push back and fight against you on it.
Yeah, who are those people that's fighting, fighting against her? A lot of people, and I think one of these guys is going to bring it out as far as why they don't talk about this, or maybe I missed it in the video with Corey Holcomb. But they're going to talk about this, that they can't speak up because they're getting paid. Somebody like me, a little old ghetto talk, you know what I'm saying? I don't have nothing to lose. I don't have nothing to lose. You know, as far as going against this agenda, because that's what it is it's an agenda. But again, I want to ask, where are the men standing up for our women? They're being attacked as we speak. As you watch the video, they're being attacked. Jess Hilarious is being attacked.
Let me jump in on that real quick. I want to say, too, that this hurts the LGBTQ community at large because...
And it needs to be hurt. It needs to be demolished, attacked on all levels. Come on with this dude.
I'm not gay no more.
A lot of people don't understand there's a difference between the L, the G, and the B, the T, and the Q. And so they think that we all think like this, and we don't. There is clearly a difference between a trans woman and a biological woman. And we should state that fact. Most of us did not believe that they are the same because they are not.
Let me bring in Capone. One, I'm very surprised to have Capone in the video. In the studio. Look at me, mixing it up because I'm so excited you're here. We'll give it up for Capone being here.
Y'all need to stop.
But Capone, let's bring you in on this conversation. We've seen this play out over the weekend. What's your reaction to it?
I agree with Just Hilarious. Who's protecting our women? It just, sexually, you can do anything that you want to do, sleep with who you want to sleep with, but you cannot take on the birth of a woman if you're a man trying to be a woman. Now they say, let's go vice versa, where it's a transgender man.
Mm-hmm. Born a woman, transition to a man.
You see how she got to, make sure he say the right thing, because it's confusion. This is a confusion subject right here. You know what I'm saying? It's all confusion. It'll have you saying he, she, and you don't know what the hell they talking about or who the hell they talking about at some points.
You don't really see them act like this. This is just the man's field that's making all of this fuss. The women are not trying to go into men's bathrooms or trying to do anything. They almost quiet to where you don't even think they exist, but they're there.
Yeah.
But these men are doing something a lot different that's making it more hectic. I mean, whoever you are, whatever your sexual preference is, that's that. But stop trying to force it and be something that you're not. And that's just the bottom line to it.
Exactly. And the thing he said is these people trying to force this stuff down our throat, down our kids' throat. You gon' call me this and you gonna call me that, or you look at me as this. I'll never look at you as being a woman. You can forget about it. You better be like my man that was in church.
I'm not gay no more.
Cause I'm not having it. Not over here at ghetto talk and that grown folk talk. Nah.
Yeah. Now, Jess would say, oh, sorry, Pierre. Go ahead, Pierre. Jump in. I'm sorry.
Mine's short. Mine is this. Why can't we just have a category that's transgender? Why do they have to say they're women? You know what I'm saying? Because it's men, women, transgender, they can be gay, all that. Why can't they just have a thing? Why do they have to be saying we are just like a woman? That's all I'm asking.
Right.
You can do all the stuff you want to, but I say biological, you're not. Why can't they just say, you know what? I'm a transgender. Not I'm a woman. I'm a transgender. That's fine. I think everybody would accept that. But when you try to hijack, like Samson said, hijack a whole anatomy, come on now, God did what he did. Now, you can separate other situations, but I just think if they would just say, we're transgender and move it, keep it moving. We're transgender, whatever transgenders are, men turn into women, women turn into men, whatever, that's fine. But to say you wholeheartedly are just like a woman, that's where they're always going to have a bump, and it's going to never get together. It'll never be together, and there'll never be agreement.
Marcus, let me bring you in because I know you are on the opposing view of Jess. Now, one of the things Jess said that I feel like maybe some people took offense to, and I think Samson even mentioned it, when she said, when does this delusion stop? And I don't know if maybe her words are being misconstrued or like maybe the way she was thinking, she just didn't deliver it properly. So I'm going to ask this question to you, Marcus, and allow you to expand on what your thoughts are. Is there any delusion in trans women who want to be justified as real women when we talk about like having?
And I'm gonna answer that question before he even answers. It is delusion, these transformers. It's straight delusion. But let's hear what he got to say.
Periods and giving birth and things like that. Is there any delusion in that?
I've never met a trans woman who said, I can give birth. Like I said, and I clarified in the beginning, I don't think that the original poster was making that point. I think the point that they were making was that trans men can have periods, that some women don't have periods. So I was talking to a friend of mine recently about this, and they were talking about after having their hysterectomy, how that really affects them. Not all women can have babies, right? Like there are levels to this. I think the big question for me, and it's a little rhetorical, but the big question for me is, so what? Right? Like, what do you actually gain from pushing trans women out of the conversation from women? They're not your enemy. They're not attacking you. They're not the ones taking your right.
Shit, I bet it different. They are the woman enemy, flat out. That's what I'm saying. You can't, you know what I'm saying? These people is all, you know, with the agenda. You know, they don't want to say nothing. They don't want nothing to affect their money. And it's like, come on now. You want 1 minute you want to ride, and oh, it's not right. You know that they're saying this about the natural woman, but then they have a right. You know, and I don't feel like they have any right as far as to having anything to do with a natural woman or saying anything, opening their mouth, you know, against a natural woman, somebody who was born a woman, somebody who you can't relate to in no kind of way. The only way you can relate to them is putting some makeup on, a wig on, and that's it. But anything else, you can forget about it.
It's in the courts. They're not the ones attacking you. They're the ones actually being attacked significantly. So the big challenge here is that this is the same conversation we've had about race, where we talk about this essential, we call it essentialism, and where we talk about how there's no actual quality that makes a person automatically a Black person. There's no guaranteed thing there. And it's the same thing with gender. The big problem that a lot of folks are pushing back on multiple social media sites is the idea that when you tell somebody that they are or are not a man or a woman or whatever their gender is, you're actually tying back into the long history of people telling Black folks that they are one gender or that they are not human or that they are.
Now, see, you know, I'm trying to, you know, gather my man's speech, you know what I'm saying? Because he's saying a lot of big words, you know, that I might not understand. But now, you know, it's starting to come clear that he's trying to compare this to us Black folk, you know, being called this or saying we not this or saying we not that. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I can be corrected on here on ghetto talk or whatnot, because as you know, this is ghetto talk. But there's no comparison as far as you putting a trans woman in the same plot as the so-called Black man. You can't do that. And this is what I'm getting that he's trying to do. He's trying to compare the both of the situations and whatnot, and it's totally different. Let's hear what he got to say.
All sorts of problems. So I think this is one of those things where we need to really get serious. And if you want to get serious, read a book. But it seems pretty obvious that a lot of people in the conversation aren't.
And you know what? It's a good thing he said, you know, read a book. My question is, what book should we read? My answer is the Bible.
Well, I'm gonna disagree. I'm gonna disagree on that because you can't write a book on something that's not rooted in reality. Okay, none of this is rooted in reality.
I think what you mean is you can't read a book that's not rooted because you haven't read it. If you haven't read it, just say that.
I wouldn't
that's
read
okay.
it.
Right, and that's that. Again, the question is, what book would you be able to read? You know, about reality, the reality of it. You know what I'm saying? And the only book I can think of is the Bible.
Would probably be a horror novel. Seriously.
Oh man.
Oh, your comedy finally picking back up. I see. That's cute.
Oh man.
Hold on, Marcus. Let's let Samson finish. Go ahead, Samson.
No, the issue is, again, as someone born a man, you were either born a man or a woman. And there's a great analogy that was made to say, if you put 10 transgender women and 10 men, biological men, on an island, okay, and dig them up, they're going to find the remains of 20 men. Now, if you put 10 men on an island with 10 biological women, you're going to come back and find a community. Those are just facts. And so
And even though I don't agree with his lifestyle or whatnot, he's speaking facts right here. Those are just facts. Any way you want to put it. We got a lot of facts to break the non-believers back. Let's just put it that way.
Somebody who was born with a penis and XY chromosomes, you cannot impose on women what womanhood is and tell them where you're cis and then take womanhood from them. You know, and so you tell them, oh, you're a cis woman. And most biological women do not like that term. They hate that term. And you go, oh, well, you're cis. And so if they're cis, you put that label on them. How do you then take the label trans off you and try to adopt womanhood? That's what's pissing people off. And none of that has anything to do with race. Those are two completely different things. That's wrong.
I'll chime in here as, because today I am the only woman on the panel, just looking around. For me, the video did catch me off guard, and thank you for bringing in clarity, Marcus, about it being a trans man. But even if, you know, it being a trans man, he was born a woman, correct? So therefore, you know, if you still have a period and things like that, I am no gatekeeper of a period. Let's just lay it out. I am no gate because I don't want it.
Yes, you are.
You know, it's not something that I wake up and say, oh,
but you
yeah,
still gotta have it though.
I'm so excited. So it's not something that I'm excited to have or excited to experience. So to see someone talk about, oh, you know, women are, you know, not gatekeepers or we're not real women and all, it's just a very confusing time. And it's like, and I think Samson made a great point. I have to think about like, okay, I can't just say I'm a woman because I might offend somebody. I have to say I'm cis this, or like I have to like take an extra, because I don't mind taking the extra.
And that's bullshit. She can't say she a woman because she'll be offending one of these.
I'm not gay no more.
One of these dudes. Be for real.
To learn about how to address someone else. But now I have to think look at myself differently of like, okay, well, let me make sure I say the right thing. Even when we're on this show, just to be candid, Pierre, we've had conversations where you've called me out like, hey, just say what you want to say. But as a reporter on the show, it's very scary in these times of like, oh, well, if I say it this way, if I don't call myself a cis.
And see, that's messed up because, you know, more and more, it's like you got to watch what you say, especially on social media, you know, because, you know, you got people that's reporting you. It's like, come on now. You know, freedom of speech is going right down the toilet, right? But let's finish with the video.
Gender woman the right way, then I'm going to be labeled transphobia or transphobic and all these things. So it's definitely a learning time for us all to learn about how people want to be addressed. But man, to see that video, it was just like, come on, like we can come together and solve issues together. But this whole putting trans women against women who are born women, right. It's just a crazy time. Yeah, it's frustrating and it's crazy to be in these times.
If you're 55, can you run around and say, you know what, I don't want to be 55 no more, I want to be 25. It's the same thing.
Same thing as some man wanting to be a 12-year-old little boy or whatnot. No, a 12-year-old little girl. This stuff is getting out of control. Out of control. It's all confusion.
Yeah. You are actually saying the same thing as you're just going to take over something that's not reality. And it's it kind of bothers me that we have to go so hard to protect a woman. This is the bottom line. Like Pierre said, if you're a transgender, whatever you want to be it.
And that right there, you know what I'm saying, as far as us protecting our women, we have to protect our women. I got a daughter. I got a 4-year-old daughter. And I can just imagine, you know, one of these trying to step to her like, oh, you gonna acknowledge me as a woman and we the same thing. No. I hate to have to, you know, imagine what would happen if I was around.
But why are you trying to take over a whole species that you're never going to be? You're never going to be it.
Facts.
Regardless of what or how feminine you are or
Facts.
Whatever the situation is, you're not going to be a woman.
Facts.
God created man and woman. Everybody else created themselves.
Facts.
And what makes this more dangerous too is that if somebody disagrees, they're automatically labeled transphobic.
Exactly.
If a woman says, I don't quite agree.
Even though I don't rock with you, homeboy, you know what I'm saying? Those are facts. If you don't agree with this crap, then you transphobia or you homophobia or whatever that crap is. You know what I'm saying? And it's just ridiculous. Like, man, this wasn't going on in the 80s, the 90s or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, man. But we know what time of day we in. So it's all kind of weirdness going on around here.
With that, a woman with a vagina and ovaries and all the stuff that makes them a woman biologically says, I don't quite agree with that. Well, you're a transphobe and you're my... No, this is a woman. This is her experience. And you're imposing what her experience is on her when she's telling you what being a woman is and how she's feeling about it when you just became one a year ago.
All right, that's enough of the video there. But this is where we at, right? I just wanted to, you know, bring this video out because I stumbled upon it. You know, it had some good talking points about it. It was another situation where I think it was a athlete or something thought that Jess Hilarious was a transgender. So, you know, that's another thing that's like giving our women a bad reflection or whatnot. As far as, you know, men, like, we got to question some of our natural women if they really are a woman. You see the confusion? It goes right back to confusion. But I'm not going to hold y'all up like that. You know what I'm saying? This ghetto talk, y'all already know what it is.
OG triple.
Hit that subscribe button. Please hit the subscribe button. Hit the share and like button. Y'all look out for your mans. You know, I'm going to keep bringing this content out. At the end of the day, a man is a man and a woman is a woman. To the next video. Peace.